September 24th, 2015 was a milestone in my mom's cancer journey. It was when she had her month follow-up appointments in Omaha, Nebraska at the research hospital where she had received her autologous stem cell transplant, which, as a reminder, had been prolonged due to the development of a subdural hematoma that required 2 craniotomies, one planned and one unplanned, to resolve. In this video, I'm going to share a couple moments that I ended up cutting from this day in my book, Losing Linda May, a Cancer Caregiving Memoir, and then I'm going to reflect on the experience now having gone through cancer treatment myself. The first moment that I ended up cutting was at the very beginning of the day after my mom had her CT scan and we were headed to the elevator bank so that we could go to the cafeteria. And this is what happened. The elevator doors opened before us. Guests and medical staff dispersed. The last one is a face I recognize, Evelyn. The nurse looks at me and then Mom. She clearly recognizes us, but I don't think she remembers our names. Hi, she says, stepping to the side. How are you both doing? Good, just here for monthly checkups, Mom says, suddenly bright. How has everything been going? I finished acute rehab, so now I'm back home and just doing outpatient therapy. That's fantastic news. You look great as well. Mom caresses the ties of her headscarf as if they were locks of hair. Thank you. I'd be walking around this place if it weren't so dang big. Oh yeah, it even tires me out. Evelyn raises her eyes to meet mine. And how about you? No complaints, I say, adhering to the vague nature of the conversation. Got a chance to visit the city for a couple weeks, and I'm really proud of Mom for putting in so much hard work when I was away. Wonderful, all positive news. Yep. I have a suggestion, Mom says seriously. You should tell someone they need to have more normal-sized wheelchairs in this place. Evelyn chuckles. Unfortunately, a lot of our patients need that size. Better to have more bigger ones to accommodate as many people as possible. The conversation lapses. Were you guys headed to the 7th floor? We weren't planning on it, Mom says. You should. I'm sure everyone would be excited to see you. Okay, maybe after lunch. Sounds good. Great running into you guys. Evelyn smiles before heading down the hallway from which we came. I push Mom forward and she requests the elevator. That was nice, I say. I don't think she remembered us. To be fair, she handles a lot of patients. Why don't you ever just agree with me? I do, sometimes, but I'm also trying to cut her some slack. Well, I don't want to go to the special care unit if no one's going to remember me. That'll just make me feel stupid. We did end up going to the special care unit, and here's the moment that I ended up cutting. Mom insists on walking the 7th floor in the event we run into anyone else we know from her hospitalization. She holds onto my arm as the double doors open. The woman behind the desk does not look familiar. We approach the counter and I say, Hi, my mom was a patient here in July and August. Would we be able to take a lap to see if any of the staff we know are around? Sure, the woman says, likely not seeing us as a high risk. Welcome back. Thank you, Mom says politely. We pivot and head towards room 7440. My heart rate spikes as I am inundated with fragments of memories and emotions. How do you feel? I say, glancing at Mom. Fine. I do not inquire further as I doubt I will receive an elaboration. A female nurse with brown hair backs out of a room and closes the door behind her. Mom and I perk up, expecting the face to be one we recognize. We do not. We follow the woman, though much more slowly, to the second nurse's station. The chairs are mostly unfilled. The faces that dot the landscape are vaguely recognizable, but not enough to be exciting for either parties. Can I help you folks? A male nurse says. Is Joseph working today? I say. I haven't seen him. Let me look at the calendar. The man disappears into a nook. No, he's off today and tomorrow, but he'll be back on the weekend if you want to stop by then. We're just in town for today, unfortunately. Thank you for your help, though. No problem. I face Mom. Do you want to go along the other side to see if we run into anyone else? No, let's just go back. I'm tired. All right, I say, assisting her turn. Sorry this was such a waste. It's okay. I'm glad I was able to walk the floor. I was only able to do it a few times. I smile, grateful for her forthcomingness. And look at you now. What's clear in both of these moments and all the moments that ended up making the final draft of my book for this day is that my mom was just not in a particularly good mood. At the time, it was really annoying to me, but now having gone through cancer treatment myself, I understand exactly where her headspace was at because she could have received some really bad news this day. She could have found out that the subdural hematoma was refilling and she'd need another craniotomy, or she could have found out that the cancer was back, that she had relapsed again. So of course she was stressed out and not particularly receptive to me and my energy and my perkiness. The worst case scenarios were probably perpetually running through her mind this entire time, which I know all too well because that is exactly what happens to me anytime I get my annual scan to determine whether or not that I am still in remission. You can ask anyone in my life and they will tell you that I am not a joy to be around when I'm waiting on my latest scan results. it is just such a nerve-wracking process. And it is exacerbated when you have relapsed multiple times or you've just been dealt so many bad hands like my mom had and like I had throughout the course of my treatment. So you just inevitably expect the worst, especially if you have a run of good luck or just good tidings, which is exactly what had happened to her. She had a month of just things going in the right direction. So of course she was going about this day just thinking that this was going to be when the shoe drops again, that things were going to take a downturn on this day because it was so possible. Meanwhile, I was looking at it all as a victory lap because she had made such great strides since she was discharged. She couldn't even walk when she left the hospital, and now she was back and able to do so with assistance. So we were just in completely different frames of mind, which is why I just kept texting my dad this entire day, complaining about the fact that my mom was being so pessimistic and that she just was getting so annoyed about the most minor things. And that was so frustrating to me. And unfortunately, my mom saw all those text messages, which I included in the moment for September 26th in my book. And that was such a gut punch for me for her to see those messages because I never intended for her to know how I was feeling. But this is a perfect example of how caregivers cannot really ever understand what their loved ones are going through unless they've lived a very similar life experience, which is very rare. So most times you just have to accept the behavior and moods that your loved ones get in because it's likely for reasons that you just cannot fathom. In the next video I'll be releasing on September 27th, I'll be talking about starting real-world rehabilitation. So hit subscribe, leave any questions in the comments. The link to my book is in the description, and I will see you all on the 27th.